I'm thinking of you and praying for you as many of you head back to school this week. I know things are going to be different, but don't forget that Jesus is going to go with you. He's with you everywhere you go. Do you remember when we were talking about kindness last month that we said Jesus likes to tell us stories? Do you remember what those stories are called? Parables. A parable is a little story with a big message. Jesus told a parable about a dad and his son, and we're going to read it today. You can find it in your Bible in Luke chapter 15, and today we're going to read it from the Jesus Storybook Bible. This is called Running Away. Jesus told the story about a boy who ran away. Once upon a time, there was a boy and his dad. Now, one day, the boy gets to thinking, maybe if I didn't have my dad around telling me what is good for me all the time, I'd be happier. He's spoiling my fun, he thinks. Does my dad really want me to be happy? Does my dad really love me? The son never thought of that before, but suddenly he doesn't know anymore. So the son goes to his father and says, Dad, I'm better off without you. I can look after myself. Just give me my share of your money. His father is sad, but he won't force his boy to stay, so he gives his son what he wants. The son takes the money and goes on a long journey to a far-off country. And everything's wonderful and perfect for a while. He can go wherever he wants to go, do whatever he wants, be whoever he wants. He's the boss. He's free. Sometimes he gets a strange, hungry, homesick feeling inside his heart. But then he just eats more or drinks more or buys more clothes or goes to more parties until it goes away. But soon his money runs out, and so do his friends. He ends up getting the only job he can find, feeding pigs. One day he is so hungry and so desperate, he even tries some pig food. What am I doing? He says suddenly, as if he has woken up from a nightmare. He spits, yuck, all of it, ick, out of his mouth. My father is rich, and here I am in a pigsty eating pig food. He wipes his mouth, dusts himself off. I'm going home. As he starts for home, though, he begins to worry. Dad won't love me anymore. I've been too bad. He won't want me for his son anymore. So he practices his I'm sorry speech. All this time, what he doesn't know is that day after day, his dad has been standing on his porch, straining his eyes, looking into the distance, waiting for his son to come home. He just can't stop loving him. He longs for the sound of his boy's voice. He can't be happy until he gets him back. The son is still a long way off, but his dad sees him coming. What will the dad do? Fold his arms and frown and shout, "That'll teach you." And just you wait, young man. No, that's not how this story goes. The dad leaps off the porch, races down the hill, through the gap in the hedge, up the road. Before his son can even begin his I'm sorry speech, his dad runs to him, throws his arms around him, and can't stop kissing him. Let's have a party, his dad shouts. My boy's home. He ran away. I lost him, but now I have him back. Jesus told them God is like the dad who couldn't stop loving his boy. And people are like the son who said, does my dad really want me to be happy? Jesus told people this story to show them that what God is like and to show people what they are like. So they could know however far they ran, however well they hid, however lost they were, it wouldn't matter. Because God's children could never run too far or be too lost for God to find them. I love that story, and it's such a good picture of how God is our good, good Father. The Father in the story represents God the Father's heart for us. God is a really, really good dad. He loves you so much. And like we saw in the story, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that will get in the way of his love for us. Notice how when the boy decides to go home, his dad doesn't wait until he gets up the driveway. No, when Jesus tells the story, he says while the boy was still way at the end of the driveway, the father took off. As soon as he caught a glimpse of his boy, he took off down the driveway running. And that's how good God is. As soon as we step toward him, he comes running. His heart is to scoop you up in the biggest hug and tell you how much he loves you. So today, we have a little craft for you to do that will hopefully remind you about this story. And we have this little piggy twirler here. And it will remind you of how when the prodigal son, when the boy that ran away was feeding the pigs, he realized this was no place for him to be. And so he went home. But this is a cute pig. I'm sure the pigs he was with were kind of smelly and gross. But you're gonna need some paper plates. So if you take 2 paper plates, magically, paint them pink, or you could color them if you have markers. We have paint at our house, so I painted them, but you could use crayon or marker, or you could do a white pig if you wanted, or any color pig. You're gonna take one of the plates, and you're just gonna start kind of cutting it in a spiral all the way around. Just keep cutting it around and around. Till you get to the end. Look at how big that ends up. So there's going to be your spiral. And then you're going to take the second plate and just cut right into the middle and cut this round middle out like this. And this is going to be your face of the pig, and you can draw on it with your markers. Just like the markers, we drew the mouth and the eyes. So then with this piece, you're gonna cut out all the little pieces. You're gonna cut out the ears and the feet, and you can make a little curly tail too, and the nose. So out of this piece, you're gonna cut all of those pieces to go on your pig. And then you're gonna glue it all together, put a little string on it, and then that is what you're gonna end up with. We use markers. We just used a black marker. So try that at home if you have paper plates. Or you could just even draw a picture of a piggy if you wanted to remind you of our story that we read today about our good Father in heaven.